After 10 years, we're going to see over 80 million middle-class families pay more in taxes while the richest people in this country get huge tax breaks. If that is the definition of fairness, then I don't quite know what fairness is about. Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent that Senators Blumenthal, Merkley, and Warren be added as co-sponsors to amendment number 1720 that I am offering.
Without objection.
Thank you. Mr. President, the amendment that I am offering with Senators Leahy, Brown, Harris, Baldwin, Udall, Reed, Markey, Heinrich, and Hirono is very simple and straightforward. And I'm glad that a number of my Republican colleagues are on the floor because they can help me as we go forward on this amendment. Now, what my amendment would do is establish a point of order to prevent cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid benefits, which can only be waived by 2/3 of the Senate. In other words, what we're trying to do here is make it harder for there to be cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Now, I want everybody in America to know that this tax proposal is more than a tax proposal. It is my absolute belief that as soon as this tax proposal is completed and drives the deficit up by $1.4 trillion, I have zero doubt that my Republican colleagues are going to come back to the floor of the Senate and suddenly say, oh my goodness, the deficit has gone up, we have got to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Now, I have to see my friend from Pennsylvania here on the floor, friend. I say to him, and I say to the leader of the Senate, Mr. McConnell, I will withdraw this amendment. If you can assure the American people tonight that you are not going to cut back, come back to the Senate and cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Can I have that assurance? I would yield time. Good. I would yield time to my friend from Pennsylvania to assure, now I see Senator Rubio down here as well. He just the other day, correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Rubio, I know you just walked in and I got you into this debate, but correct me if I am wrong if you did not say yesterday that the Senate would now proceed to a quote-unquote entitlement reform, which in fact will mean cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And I would yield to my friend from Florida to tell me whether or not I am accurately portraying what he said just the other day.
Mr. President.
The Senator for Florida.
Mr. President, it would surprise my friend to know that in Florida we got a lot of people on Medicare and Social Security. One of them is my mother. If I were to cut her Medicare and Social Security, sir, I probably could never see her again or go home. So the answer to your question is no. As I've been clear time and again, I believe that for future generations like myself, there need to be adjustments made. All right.
Thank you. Let me quote you. Let me quote you. Let me quote you, Senator Rubio. Tell me if this quote is right. This is a quote that you just made yesterday. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But as I understand it, you spoke to a group of Wall Street lobbyists, and this is what you said, quote, many argue that you can't cut taxes because it will drive up the deficit. But we have to do two things. We have to generate economic growth, which generates revenue while reducing spending. That will mean instituting structural changes to Social Security and Medicare for the future, end of quote. Now let me help define what my Republican colleagues mean when they talk about structural changes to Social Security and Medicare. It will mean that at a time when senior citizens are splitting their pills in half, Republicans will go forward with massive cuts to Medicare. Now maybe their idea will be to raise the retirement age to 70, forcing older workers in terms of Social Security to work more before they can get their benefits. Maybe it will be privatizing Medicare and giving people a voucher. When my Republican friends talk about saving Social Security and Medicare, what they are talking about is cutting it.
Would the gentleman yield?
I will yield.
Thank you.
I'll yield 1 minute.
Okay, I just want to make a very simple point. The senator from Vermont is concerned that we're going to somehow cut Medicare or Medicaid. Neither word appears in the bill. But furthermore, if that were our plan, this would be the perfect vehicle to do it. It's reconciliation instruction. We could do it without requiring a single Democrat vote. We could do it. We could finish it. We've got control of the Republican House. If we had any intention to do that, this would be the vehicle. But the words don't even appear.
What I did say is that when this legislation is passed and you add $1.4 trillion to the deficit, that you are going to come back and cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So is my friend from Pennsylvania now, and that's interesting, are you guaranteeing the American people that you will not be cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? Don't use the word save, because what save means is a cut. Will you guarantee the American people now there will be zero cuts to benefits in Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? Well, you're not, excuse me, it's my time. I will yield to you. I will yield to you, but let me finish. I yielded to you before. Will you guarantee the people of this country that after this bill passes, you will not come back, raise the retirement age, voucherize Medicare, raise the retirement age to Medicare, cut cost of living increases by instituting a so-called chain CPI? Do I have your word on that?
So I have to disappoint the senator from Vermont by informing him that there is no secret plan to do any of the above. We are not in some process to spring something. If we wanted to make these changes in Medicare and Medicaid, this would be the vehicle because we have reconciliation protection to do it.
You know, let me just be very clear. I'm happy to hear this. Do I have your word now that you, as a senator, I know you can't speak for everybody, that you, as a senator, after this bill is passed, and I suspect it will be, you will not support any cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? Do I have that word from you?
I am not going to support any cuts to people who are on the program and need those benefits.
There it is.
But I want this program to survive. I'm going to acknowledge that we need this program for the next generation too.
He just let the cat out of the box, or whatever the phrase is. He just told you he's going to cut Social Security. That's it, my friends. He will not cut it, what he just said, he will not cut it for people who are on Social Security right now. I hear that. But if you are 50 years of age, or you are 55 years of age, they just told you, my friend from Pennsylvania just told you, they may go forward to raise the retirement age, they may cut your cost of living adjustment. That is what he just said. So there is a plan, and that is exactly what they intend to do. And that's why I hope that we can get strong support for this amendment that will require a 2/3 vote to prevent any cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And with that, Mr. President, I will yield.
Mr. President.
The Senate